Now,
yes, teacher.
here, our lesson was talking about operations with radical expressions. As we said, the radical expressions, it's like a numbers. It can be added, it can be subtracted, it can be also multiplied and divided. We learn how can we add two radical numbers, how can we subtract them. Today now we will learn how can we multiply the radical expressions. If you have now radical expression like square root of 10, and I want to multiply it by square root of 6 plus 3. Here, as you see, square root of 10 are multiplied with the square root of 6 plus 3. So what you have to do, here we can use the distributive property to multiply negative square root of 10. So here, you have to multiply square root of 10 first with negative, with the square, sorry, with the square root of 6. Then plus, you will multiply the square root of 10 with 3. This is by using the distributive property. We will distribute the square root of 10 into square root of 6, and then you will square root of 10 and also a 3. And then after that, as we learned before, here we have square root of 10 and the square root of 6. We can combine them in one square root, but as square root of 60. And here we have 3 square root of 10. Then after that here, after we distributed them, the 3 square root of 10, it's already simplified, but the square root of 60 under the square root is not a prime number. And it's not a product of two prime numbers. It is a composite number. Since it is a composite number, so as we said before, we have to simplify it. How? We will say that 60. Let's now try to find two numbers that if you multiply them, you get 60. But one of them is a square root. Think about it.
Teacher, there's the 12 and 5.
12 and 5.
20 and 3.
So we have 60. We can say 12 and 5. Other.
6 and 10.
6 and 10. Other. Give me other. One of them is perfect square.
Teacher, teacher, if we took 12 and 5, I mean, teacher, the other number, 5
Okay.
and...
Yeah. So let's say 12
and 12.
and 5. And then 12, you can say it is 4 and 3. So we can say it is 4, which is a perfect square. Keep them
Times
here.
by 3.
Times 3 times 5, which is 15. Keep them as it is. Then, what is the square root of 4? It is 2.
2.
So 2 square root of 15 plus 3 square root of 10. This is now the final answer. So the first step, I will
Teacher,
yes.
sorry, teacher, for interrupting, but teacher, we will not like multiply 2 and 3 and 15 times 10.
2 and
3 and 15 and 10.
No. Here you have 3 square root of 10. Leave them here. Don't change it. Only you have to simplify square root of 60. Let's repeat that here. I will repeat it now. Here we have square root of 10, and this square root of 10 is multiplied by square root of 6 plus 3. Here, what we have? We have to multiply square root of 10 times square root of 6 first. And then We have to multiply square root of 10 times 3. Then after that, as we said before, if we have a square root of 10 times square root of 6, you can put them in one square root, which is 60, plus 3 times square root of 10. Now look at the numbers under the square root. Look at number 10. Is it simplified? Yes. Why? Because 10, it is not a prime number, but it is a composite of two prime numbers, 5 and 2. So this is simplified. I cannot simplify it. Now let's look at 60. Look at number 60 here. If you factorize 60, like 12 and 5. Look at the 12 and 5. Is the factors of 60 are prime number?
Yes.
How yes? Is it 12 is a prime?
No. 12 is not a prime, but
12
5
is not a prime. 5 is a prime, yes, but 12 is not a prime. So I need to simplify it. I will repeat, miss. If I factorize the number and I saw that its two factors are prime, so I cannot simplify it. But when I factorize it, if I see one of their numbers is not a prime, is a composite number, so I can simplify it. Did you understand?
Teacher, I didn't understand very well. Can you repeat?
Here, when you simplify, this is the lesson 2 here. Okay, if you have 60, if you have 35, if you have a number like what? Like 12 as an example. Look at these numbers here. I want now to know, if you imagine now that each number under square root, and you want now to see if you can simplify or no. What you have to do, ask yourself, is the numbers under the square root are prime numbers? What are the prime numbers? 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. Are these numbers are prime numbers? Yes, grade 8. Are these numbers are prime?
No.
No.
So they are not a prime. So think now, look at the second step. Let's now try to factorize each number. This is lesson 2, okay? This is not related to our lesson. This 35. Give me two factors of 35. That if you multiply them, you get 35.
7 and 5.
7 and 5.
7 and 5, exactly. For 60. 6 and 10. For 12.
6 and 2.
4, 3.
4 and 3, exactly. Now, here let's use 12 and 5 that we said it before. Now, look at the first one, 35. Look at 5 and 7. Now ask yourself, is 5 or are 5 and 7 prime numbers?
Yes.
Yes. 5
Yes.
and 7 are prime numbers. Since they are prime, so I will say that square root of 35 is the simplified one. I will stop here. I will not simplify it. Look at 60 now. Look at the factors of 60. We have 12 and 5. 12 is a prime number?
No.
No.
No. So, since the 12 is not a prime number, so I must do an action here. I must simplify it. I will say 12 is 4 times 3. Then I will say that 60 is, let's write now the numbers that I stop with them. 4, 3, and 5. Why I stop at 4? Because 4 is a perfect square number. It can help me. So I will say it is 4 times 3 times 5. Then I will distribute the square root to say that it is square root of 4 times square root of 3 times square root of 5. Then we said it's 2 square root of 15. Now look at number 12. 4 and 3. Is the 3 is a prime number?
Yes.
Yes, grade 8. Is
Yes.
it 3 a prime number?
Yes.
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 Miss.
Sub 4.
No, it's not a prime number.
No, it's not a prime number. So since 4 is not a prime number, so I have to simplify it. Here you have to simplify. Here you have to simplify. But here, no need. To simplify it, 4, I have to stop at a prime and perfect square number. So since a 4 is a perfect square, so I can say that square root of 12 is equal to square root of 4 times square root of 3. Then square root of 4 is 2, and the square root of 3, I cannot simplify it, so I will say that the square root of 12 is square root of 2, it's a 2 times square root of 3. Is it clear now? Did you
Yes,
study
teacher.
grade 8? Did you study?
Yes.
You have to study.
Yes,
This is the
teacher.
previous lesson, miss. Let's come back here now. So we said 60. When you factorize it, we get to 12 and we get 5. And since the 12 is not a prime number, it is 4 and 3. Where I have to stop? I have to stop at a number which is a perfect square. I found 4. Yeah, I have to stop. So I say it's square root of 4 times square root of 3 times square root of 5. I have to put each fruit. Imagine that this is a fruit. Each fruit under square root. Then, what is the square root of 4? It is 2. And these two numbers, they are prime numbers. We cannot find their square root, so we combine them into 3 times 5, which is 15. So, square root of 60, it can be written as 2 square root of 15. Plus this one, which is a 3 square root of 10. This will be now the final answer. Can be added?
No, teacher, because it doesn't have the same.
Yes, they don't have the like radicals. Is it clear now, A?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, miss.
Let's solve now B. Here we have square root of 6 minus 2 square root of 3. And we have square root of 6 plus square root of 3. We have to multiply them. Like, did you remember how can we multiply expressions? Here we have to do the same in multiplying radical expressions. We have to make a table. What is the first term here? Square root of 6.
Square root of 6.
I have to write it here. The second term, minus 2 square root of 3. Write the two terms, one in like a row here. Then the second term, we have a square root of 6, and we have plus square root of 3. Let's now rewrite them down. If we have up square root of 6, down you have square root of 6. If you have up square root of 3, you have down square root of 3. Here we have square root of 6, so you have right square root of 6. Did you remember why? And here we have to copy it
Yes.
on this side.
Yes.
Then after that now, I have to multiply square root of 6 times square root of 6. I have to fill the number here. How? By multiplying square root of 6 times square root of 6. Yalla. What is the product of square root of 6 times square root of 6?
36.
36.
Which is?
Square root of 6.
It is 6.
6.
Yes. Now let's come down here. Here we have to multiply negative 2 square root of 3 times square root of 6. Let's do it here. What did we have? First, you have to multiply the numbers. Then you have to multiply the numbers under the square root. What did we have? We have negative 2. Write it here. Then square root of 3 times square root of 6 is what?
18.
Square root of
Square root of
18.
18.
Exactly. Now let's come to this side here. Square root of 3 times square root of 6.
18.
Square root of 18. Thank
Root
you.
of 8.
And the last one here, what did we have? We have to multiply square root of 3 times negative 2 times square root of 3.
Negative 2 times square root
Negative
of
2
9.
times.
So square root of 3 times negative 2 times
Equal
square root of
negative
3.
6.
Now, here we have negative 2 times. Let's multiply square root of 3 times square root of 3. If you multiply them, what do you get?
9.
3.
Square
3.
root of 9. So
Equal.
it's going to be 3.
Square root of 9, which is a 3. So let's now erase here. We write them as negative 2 times 3, which is 6. Then after that now, let's now
I'll take all the
write them.
terms.
Let's now add them with each other. 6 plus negative 2 square root of 18 plus square root of 18 plus what?
Teacher, you mean minus 6.
Here, then you write negative 6. Yes. You write the full numbers. 6 and negative 2 square root of 18 and square root of 18 and negative 6. Is it right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I will clear here now to continue. Now let's continue here. 6 cancel negative 6. Is it right? Because
Yes.
6 minus 6
Yes.
is 0.
Yes.
Now let's find, or let's add these two numbers here. Negative square root of 18 plus square root of 18. That's what we said yesterday. Here you have first to add the numbers. Then, since we have the same square root of the same number or the same radical, we have like radicals, so we can add them. Since we can add them, we have to add first the numbers, then to choose one from these two roots, which is square root of 18. Then let's add the numbers now. Negative 2 plus what? What is the number that is hidden here?
36.
1.
1. So I say negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1.
Equal 1.
Then I didn't simplify. I didn't. Oh, this is not the final answer because I want the simplified one. Look at 18. Let's factorize 8. Oh, before that, is 18 is a prime number?
No, it's a composite.
So let's now factorize it. Give me two numbers that if you multiply them, you get 18.
9 and 2.
9 and 2, exactly. Now look at the factors of 18. 9 and 2. Is 9 and are 9 and 2 are prime numbers?
Yes.
No, 9 is composite.
9 is not a prime
9
number.
is not. 9 is not a prime. 9 is a perfect square. So I can say that 18 is a square root of 9 times square root of 2. The numbers that I stop at them, I will put them under the square root. So I will say it's negative 1. Then instead of writing square root of 18, I have to write square root of 9 times square root of 2. Then, what is the square root of 9?
3.
3. So we have negative 3 square root of 2. This is now the final answer of doing all of these steps. Is it clear?
Yes, teacher.
Teacher, it's not to be
Yes.
supposed to multiply the. Oh, okay, yes. It's clear, teacher.
Yeah. Let's do another example now. Girls, tomorrow you have a quiz at 1 p.m. Okay? For lesson 2 and 3. Not 2, no, 1 is not included. 2 and 3.
Okay, teacher.
Okay?
Okay.
Still tomorrow?
Tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Teacher, 2 lessons, 2 and 3, right?
Yes, only 2 and 3. Now, let's now. This is number 6. I wrote it here. Is it right? This is the same numbers.
Teacher, so we will finish the lesson today.
Maybe. And tomorrow we have 2 periods today. Tomorrow morning. But
Oh,
yes, we
okay.
finished. If we have one idea, I didn't give it to you. It's not included. No problems. So I want you to study. Yeah. Let's do now this. Got it here. What is the simplified form of each expressions? Here we have square root of 2 times square root of 6 plus 5. Okay? Now, you have to multiply square root of 2 times square root of 6, and then you have to multiply square root of 2 times 5. Then, square root of 2 times square root of 6 plus square root of 2 times 5 by using the distributive property. Then now, square root of 2 times square root of 6. Let's combine them in what? In square root of 12. Plus, here, how can we multiply them? What did we say? Square root of 2 times 5.
10.
What?
No, I mean
Yeah,
5 times the square root of 2.
5 square root of 10. Of 2, sorry. Be careful. If you have a square root of 2 times square root of 5, you say it's square root of 10. But if you have a square root of 2 times 5, you will say it's 5 square root of 2. And if you have 2 times the square root of 5, you have to say it's 2 square root of 5. So now we have here 5 square root of 2 plus square root of 12. Now look at the 12. Is it 12 a prime number?
Yes.
It's a composite of two prime numbers.
Who say yes?
Teacher, not me.
I know that's you. Who said yes? Who say prime? I didn't see the name. Allah. 12 is a prime, yes. 12 is
No,
a
teacher, it's me because I got complicated by the prime number and the composite numbers.
Eh?
Teacher, it's me because I got complicated.
You didn't distinguish between a prime and composite?
No, like teacher, I mean, like I was going to say that it's composite, but I said instead it's prime.
Okay. بسيطة زي. Yeah, okay. So 12, 4, and 3. Now, look at 12. Is it 4 a prime? It's no. So I have to simplify 12. How? I say 12 is 4 and 3. Now, since 4 is a perfect square number, so I can write them like square root of 4 times square root of 3. I must, when I factorize, I must end with must end with a perfect square. Then square root of 4 is 2. Square root times square root of 3. So let's come back here now. We have 2 square root of 3 plus 5 square root of 2. Can I add them now?
No, teacher, because they don't have the same square root numbers and they are
Yes,
not factored to each other.
They are not like radicals, so we cannot add them. Let's do now B. In B here, we have square root of 11 minus 2 squared. Here, like, did you remember when we say we have x minus 2 squared?
Yes, so I
What
have
did we
to
say?
repeat. We will say a squared plus plus 2 times a with b plus b squared.
Thank you so much, Farah. Excellent. Here we have a minus b squared. What did we say? We say a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. You have to memorize them. This is very, very important. Then after that, here we have the sum. Where is a? It's square root of 11. So let's write them as square root of 11 squared. And instead of writing a, we have to write square root of 11 minus 2 times ab. Where is a and where is b? Here is a.
A is square root
And
of
here is
11.
b. So we
Yes.
say it is square root of 11 times 2. Then plus what? B squared.
2 squared.
Which is, yeah, where is b? Which is 2. So we say it's 2 squared. Yalla, let's continue now. Square root of 11 squared. It cancel each other. Is it right?
Yes.
So we say it is 11
Yes.
minus 2 times 2 times square root of 11. 2 times 2 is what?
4.
4 times square root of 11 plus 2 squared
4.
4.
4. Let's now rearrange them now. We have 11 plus 4
15.
15.
15
Minus
minus 4
square root
square
of
root of 11.
Is it clear?
Yes, miss.
Yes.
Yes, teacher.
Yeah. Let's do now C. Here we have square root of 6 minus 2 square root of 3 times 4 square root of 3 plus 3 square root of 6. Here we can use the distributive, we can use the FOIL, we can use the table as you want. You can use the horizontal way as you want. Let's use now the table.
Table, teacher. Okay.
I like the table. I don't know. If you prefer anywhere, you can use it.
Okay, miss.
Then here, we have square root of 6. What did we write down? Negative 2 square root of 3. And here, we have 4 square root of 3 and 3 square root of 6. I will write them here now. I will put down up square root of 6, down negative 2 square root of 3, and 4 square root of 3 and 3 square root of 6. I will write them now like this. Then
Multiply
yes,
4 times
repeat them here first. Here we have negative 2 square root of 3. Here we have 3 square root of 6. And here we have 4 square root of 3. Then now let's multiply them. 4 times square root of 3 times square root of 6. Let's write them here. 4 square root of 3 times square root of 6. What we have to do first, put 4 down.
And then multiply
then-
the numbers under the square root.
Yeah, the square root of 3 times the square root of 6 is what?
18.
18.
Square root of 18. So here we have 4 square root of 18.
Square root of 18.
This is for the first one. Now then, we have to multiply negative
3 square root of 6.
2 square root of 3 times 4 square root of 3. Here, we have to multiply this one and this one. Negative 2 square root of 3 times 4 square root of 3.
Should be negative 24.
Bravo, yes. Let's multiply first. Negative 2 and 4. What did we get?
Negative
Negative 8. And then we have to multiply square root of 3 times square root of 3.
9.
Which is square root of 9, or shortly, you say it's 3. So it is negative 24. So here to have to write negative 24. Then let's continue. 3 square root of 6 times square root of 6.
Equal 18.
Equal 18.
3, and this is 6, so which is 18. And here, what did we have?
Negative 6 square root of 18. It will equal, I mean.
Here we have to multiply
Negative 6.
negative 2 square root of 3 times 3 square root of 6. Then let's multiply the numbers first, then the radicals. Negative 2 times 3,
Negative 6.
negative 6. And negative
Negative
3
6.
times, square root of 3 times square root of 6, square root of 18. Bravo.
18.
So here I have to write -6 square root of 18. Then after that, now we have to rewrite them here. So it's equal to, let's write first 4 square root of 18. Then -24. Then plus 18. Then -6 square root of 18. I took the numbers now, I put them outside or out of the table. After I finish now, let's now combine or rearrange the numbers. 4 square root of 18. So I will add the radicals with each other and the numbers with each other. So here we have 4 square root of 18. I will add it with -6 square root of 18. We have the same like radicals, so it can be added. So let's say now 4 -6
-24.
-2.
And we choose one of the square roots. So we have -2 square root of 18. Then let's go to the numbers now. -24 plus 18 is what?
-6.
-6, exactly. So I have now, by now, the final answer is -2 square root of 18 minus 6. I want the simplified one. So
Okay,
what is the square root? Now look at the 18 now. Is it the simplified? Is it a prime?
Yeah and no.
No. So I will write 18 here, factorize it into 9 and 2. And since 9 is not a prime number and is a perfect square, so I can write it as square root of 9 times square root of 2, which is 3 square root of 2. So it's -2 times 3 square root of 2 minus 6. By multiplying them, we get